It started on a Tuesday. Tuesdays were always the same. Leave my apartment at 8:15, walk the long beige hallway, take the elevator. The hallway was forgettable. Off-white walls, worn gray carpet, identical sconce lights. But that morning the air was heavier, the silence deeper. I locked my door, the click echoed too loudly. As I walked, the hallway stretched longer than ever. I passed Mrs. Gable's, then Mr. Henderson's, then, where 3D should be, there was only blank wall. I stopped, confused. 5 years here, I knew this hallway. I tried to laugh it off, but unease crept in. The lights flickered, their glow turning sickly yellow. The air smelled of damp paper and ozone. The carpet felt spongy, each step a faint squelch. The familiar comfort was gone, replaced by something rotten. Panic rising, I turned to run back. My door was gone. Only endless corridor in both directions. I was trapped in a perfect, terrifying symmetry. The walls hummed with a low, electrical buzz. I was no longer in my building. At the far end, where the elevator should be, stood rusted metal doors. They waited, dark and foreboding. I realized I had crossed into somewhere else entirely. There was no going back, only forward, toward those doors, and whatever waited beyond them. The metal doors were cold, handleless, with a grimy window showing only darkness. I pressed my ear to the steel. Nothing, no sound, just oppressive silence. My only options, walk forever, or face the void. I pushed the doors. They groaned open, revealing a pitch-black elevator. The air inside was stale, ancient, and cold. I hesitated, but a wet, dragging sound echoed from the corridor. Something was coming. I dove inside. The doors slammed shut, sealing me in darkness. I searched for buttons. Nothing but smooth, cold metal. No controls, no escape. Suddenly, the elevator dropped. Not a normal descent, but a free fall. My stomach lurched. I screamed, the sound swallowed by the rushing air. The fall felt endless, time dissolving in the blackness. Then, the descent slowed, drifting gently until a soft bump stopped the car. A single mournful chime echoed. A thin line of light appeared at the bottom of the doors. They slid open with a wet hiss. I braced myself, heart pounding. Whatever was next, I had no choice but to face it. The only way out was through. I stepped forward, into the unknown. The nightmare had only just begun. There was no turning back. Yellow light spilled into the elevator, a sickly, endless expanse. I stepped out into a sprawling maze of yellowed stained wallpaper and damp, squelching carpet. The air was thick with mildew and something sweetly rotten. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, some flickering, casting shifting shadows. The maze stretched in every direction, no landmarks, no escape. I called out, no answer but the hum. The elevator was gone, my escape vanished. Despair threatened to overwhelm me, but standing still felt worse. I picked a direction and walked, each step echoing in the endless yellow. The rooms twisted, hallways led nowhere. I was lost in a maze that defied logic, walking but going nowhere. Time lost meaning. Minutes or hours, I couldn't tell. The buzzing lights became a physical ache. The yellow walls burned into my vision. My mind, desperate for change, conjured faces and the stains and movement in the shadows. Thirst and hunger gnawed at me. The damp carpet mocked my desperation. I started talking to myself, clinging to memories of who I was. The hum whispered that I was being watched, followed. With every moment, the world outside these walls felt more like a fading dream. Then I heard it. A footstep, wet and distant, cutting through the drone. Hope surged. I shouted, desperate for a reply. Silence. Had I imagined it? I crept forward, pausing to listen. The hum mocked my efforts at stealth. Another footstep, closer, just around the corner. Fear replaced hope. This wasn't a rescuer. I pressed against the wall, peering around, nothing but a single, fresh, misshapen footprint. Panic took over. I ran, not caring where, just away. My footsteps echoed, frantic and loud. Behind me, the footsteps matched my pace, no longer hiding. It was hunting me. I didn't look back. I ran through the maze, the hum and the footsteps merging into terror. Every turn, every squelch, I felt it gaining. The yellow walls closed in, the lights flickered overhead, my lungs burned, my legs ached, but I couldn't stop. The thing behind me was relentless. I was prey, and it was closing in. I needed an escape, any escape. The maze offered none. Only endless corridors and the sound of pursuit. I was running out of time, out of hope, out of places to hide. By chance, I found a door. Cold, metallic, hidden in the wallpaper. I yanked it open and dove inside, slamming it shut as footsteps closed in. I was in a narrow, dark tunnel, air thick with stagnant water and rust. A single bulb flickered overhead. The floor was a metal grate, above black water. Pipes dripped, echoing in the claustrophobic space. The catwalk was slick with slime. I moved carefully, terrified of falling in. The water below was alive with unseen movement. Each step was torture, the dripping and splashing a maddening soundtrack. The tunnel stretched on, colder and darker. Occasionally, a soft splash broke the rhythm. Something was down there. I couldn't see it, but I felt its presence. I was no longer hunted from behind. Now, the danger was below. The monster's den was beneath my feet. I pressed on, desperate to stay above the water. Every sense screamed at me to keep moving. The only way was forward, deeper into the darkness. I prayed for another door, another escape, but the tunnel seemed endless. The ripples grew. Something massive moved beneath the water, tracking me. I tried to hurry but slipped, my hand plunging into the icy, oily water. Something brushed my fingers, smooth, alive. Panic exploded. I ran, abandoning caution. Behind me, the water erupted. A huge splash, a wave soaking my legs. The thing was chasing me now, churning the water, shaking the catwalk. The bulb ahead flickered wildly, strobing the tunnel in flashes. In those flashes, I glimpsed a dark, serpentine shape slicing through the water. I didn't dare look closer. If I fell, I'd be dragged under. I ran, heart pounding, screams echoing in the dark. The creature was relentless, the water surging at my heels. The tunnel shook with its fury. My only thought was escape. I searched desperately for a way out. The end of the catwalk had to be close. I ran for my life. In the flickering dark, I saw a ladder leading to a hatch above. The water behind me churned. The creature was almost on me. I lunged for the ladder, climbing as the catwalk buckled below. The monster slammed into the metal, trying to bring it down. I scrambled upward, arms shaking, shoes slipping. At the top, I shoved the hatch open and pulled myself through. I collapsed onto damp carpet, gasping. I was back in the yellow rooms. I slammed the hatch shut, the hum of the lights returning. For a moment I was safe, but I was changed. The yellow maze felt almost comforting compared to what lurked below. I knew I couldn't stay. This place was full of monsters. Some seen, some only heard. I forced myself to my feet. I had to keep moving. Had to find a way home. The thought of normal life was a desperate hope. I clung to it and pressed on. I wandered, lost in exhaustion and fear, until I found a door unlike the rest. Plain wood, brass knob. It didn't belong here. I opened it, blinded by sunlight and the scent of fresh air. I stumbled into an alley. Real sky above, people passing by. I ran home, locked every door, sobbing with relief. I was safe, or so I thought. In the days that followed, I tried to forget, but the mud and scratches on my shoes wouldn't let me. The hum of appliances made me flinch. Shadows in my apartment seemed to shift when I wasn't looking. Sometimes, I caught the faint smell of damp carpet in the hallway. It's been a week. I'm writing this because I need someone to know. I don't think I ever really escaped. Sometimes late at night, I hear a faint, wet squelch outside my door, and there's a new shadow in my bedroom, taller and darker than the rest. It stands in the corner, unmoving, watching. I keep the lights on now, always, but I know the lights won't keep it away forever. You can't escape a place that decides to follow you home. The nightmare isn't over, it's just waiting. And now, so am I, hoping the door never opens again.